Hi, it's Chef Mitchie. We'll be getting started here in a moment. So I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to tune in, and then if you don't mind my reach, I'm also going to reach over here and make sure that we get some of our friends invited in. Oh my goodness, it is Sunday. An amazing weekend we're having, aren't we? If you are seeing this post, please, by all means, do share it. We would love to have your friends and communities join in. That's what I'm doing right now. That's why you see my head down. I am making sure that I share this to some of our favorite groups. My goodness, I'm so excited, you guys. I hope that you're having a fantastic weekend. Hello. When you share this, it's always great. Here's probably some TMI you didn't know that you needed. But when you share on Facebook, it's always best to make sure that you include a little greeting, because otherwise Facebook, the algorithm, the robots, they tend to bury your post and won't recognize it. They'll basically make it look like spam. So make sure that you put a little bit of personalization on it. And then, you know, with some of the other funny groups that you may have, you can be kind of loose with it. You know, like I'll be like, I have peas, just sweet peas, you know, something like that. Hi there. All right. So let me make sure I share this to one more of my favorite groups. I don't want them to miss out, because they're kind of important to me. They are my personal group, and we will introduce that to you in just a moment. So I've got my iPad in front of me. I will be able to follow along and see your questions and say hello to you guys. So let's see. Tina Cruz. First of all, let's welcome her. Not only is she my admin for the day, but she's Madam President of ICES. So if you are not familiar with ICES, ICES is International Cake Exploration Society. Yes, that's quite the mouthful. It is the OG of cake clubs. What that means is they've been around for quite a while, and they are the original cake club. What I love about ICES is that they promote sharing within your community. They are non-competitive. So it's more about sharing the art of cake and sugar and chocolatiers. I mean, it's such a huge network of amazing people. And it's not just here in the States, it's international, so it's around the world. So that's what makes it super wonderful. And you can join ICES. I believe that they're doing a special that you can join for free. So I'm sure that Tina will pop up some information for you so that you know about that. And join it. It's an amazing group, because you not only get access to things that are virtually online, but when this goes global again, we will be popping up in and having the actual Cake Expo in person, which is one of the shows where I first learned about other things about cake art. So I'm Chef Mitchie. I'm located in Las Vegas, Nevada. I have been caking and baking since I was not allowed in the kitchen. I got 86'd as a kiddo because I improperly peeled a carrot. I mean, who knew? It's a gory story. I still have the scar to prove it. So, but I loved to bake, and I loved to do arts and crafts. And then eventually I figured out, oh my gosh, those two can merge together. And as I kept going forward into my cake art and learning all about it, I discovered groups like ICES, and that helped introduce me to other icons in the cake community, which helped shape me, the person that I've become. So initially when I started out, I told everyone that I was self-taught, but now here I am learning from some of the world-renowned cake artists all over the world. And my resume, my cake resume, is pretty sharp, and I love it. So, are you guys ready to have some fun? I'm going to switch the camera around, so everybody put your C-bands on, chew on some ginger. We might get a little seasick. Ooh. Or just close your eyes for a moment. Here we go. Oh. I'll sneak a peek at the color wall because I know that so many of you love seeing that. Here we go. All right. So this is it. This is my workspace for today. We are going to be making sweet peas. Aren't they cute? This is a great little beginner flower to learn how to make. Very, very easy. You'll love these. You'll get quite addicted to making them. I have, for sure. And you can make them in different colors. If you Google sweet peas, they come in a variety of colors, so you don't have to basically stick to one. And like I said, they make a great filler flower, or if you just want something simple, like a nice little simple statement on a cake, this is great to have on hand. Now, if I miss any questions, I promise at the end I do go back and I make sure that I say hello back. And if you tag your business and hobby pages in the comments, I will follow you because I love to stalk. I mean, I like to look, like, and share. So definitely make sure that you pop those links up in there. And hello, I'm waving, just so you guys know, I'm waving hello to all of you. Hi, Jennifer. Hello, Jacqueline. Hello, Rita. Hi, Kim. Hello, Fun. You know what? From Nigeria, I'm just going to call you Fun. I love your name. Your name is Fun. Hello, Robin. Hi, Amara. Hello, DBs. Hello, Faye. Hello, Carmen. Hello, Jessica. Hello, Marla. Hello, Nancy. Hello, Debbie. Hello, Kofo. Hello, Carol Ann. Hello, everyone. All right, here we go. Now, if you guys want to follow along, hey, Kevy, you can, I have a PDF booklet available for purchase in my shop that's online, and Tina will pop in the link to that. I won't be able to send it to you during the live, but right after you can, I will follow up on that. It's available for $5, and 3 of those happy dollars will be donated to icingsmiles.org. That is a charity near and dear to my heart. I am actually the Nevada state sponsor of ICES. Of Icing Smiles. Please. I wish I had a club of ICES that I could look over. I mean, so far I'm only the unofficial mayor of my neighborhood. That's as far as I can get these days. So, anyway, $3 from, yes. I was going to do 2, but I am changing it to 3. So $3 from every one of these booklets sold through August 31st. I am donating to icingsmiles.org so that they can continue to serve families that are impacted by critical illness of a child. So thank you very much in advance for your support on that. So let's go over some things that you're going to need to make your sweet peas. All of this information is inside your PDF. You'll need some certain supplies. First and foremost, we're going to be using fondant. I'm using Fondix brand. I've been using this for over a decade. Most of you folks that are members of ICES know Daniel and the Caljava family very well. So you're probably familiar with this product as well. So yes, I am using fondant. Traditionally, everyone uses sugar paste or gum paste for florals, but I live in Vegas where cake design has to be on the fly. So I have adapted to making my own out of fondant. And what I do is I add CMC powder to it. And what that does is it wicks the moisture and allows the fondant to set up much quicker and harder, just like gum paste. So I've already done that. And in my booklet, I give you the exact ratios of how much CMC you need to add to your fondant. So I've already got some of that set aside. Next up, you're going to need some edible glue. And this is the edible glue that I have on hand. It's refillable. And I would like to tell everyone, at the end of our live, 2 of you are going to receive one of these as a gift from me. So make sure you pay attention, and I'll be asking a question at the end, and the person, everyone that answers with the correct answer will be randomly put into a name generator, and 2 people will be picked. Oh my goodness. So I should have wrote a script so that I could remember everything. 2 people are winning this. Pay attention. So make sure you have some edible glue on hand. Now, let's go over to my little magic toolbox here and see some of the other things that we're going to need. So, we are going to need something very funny looking, and it's called a sweet pea cutter. Now remember, this is a family show. Calm down. Just kidding. But when I saw it, it made me giggle. And I have a discount coupon for you guys to purchase this awesome little cutter, and that's also inside your PDF booklet. So, well, let's keep moving on. We are also going to need a ball tool, and you will need a Dresden tool. I have a couple of different kinds here so that you guys can see them. You know, that way you know what a Dresden is if you're not familiar. So you'll need that as well. In your PDF it says that you need a star punch cutter. I didn't bring that today, but I'm going to show you how that you would use the star punch cutter to make the base of the petal here. So, but I'm going to show you how to make it look like it already has one. Here, keep moving on. We also are going to need a veinner. You can either, they make Sweet Peas veiners, two-part veiners that you can use, but this one is pretty cool, and it's very easy, especially if you're doing this on the fly. So that is called a veining tool. We're also going to need a rolling pin, which did not fit into my magic little toolbox here. I tried, but it would not go in there. We're also going to need some 26 gauge floral wire in either white or green. And we're going to need some floral tape, as well as a floral tape cutter. And in your PDF guide, I show you how to do this, as well as, I forgot to tell you, it also includes a video link. So that way you'll be able to watch a condensed version of this. So I've already cut some of mine and put them aside. But what a tape cutter does is it helps cut the tape into a thinner width, and that way you don't have to worry about wasting too much or wrapping too much. You know, especially with sweet peas. Sweet peas are such a delicate little flower. You don't want too much bulk on the branch. So it's a climbing plant. A sweet pea is a climbing plant, so it's meant to be really thin and wiggly and, you know, agile. So you're also going to need some brushes for dusting. We're going to use these to dust our petals. And you are also going to need, off to the side, we've got some vegetable shortening, as well as a 50-50 cornstarch powder. This is cornstarch with powdered sugar. And what else were you? You may need you're going to need a precision cutting knife, or an X-Acto, some petal dust. I am using fern, and I was going to make lilac colored sweet peas today, but I decided to go with the baby yellow, so I will go and grab a nice little yellow petal dust from our board, from our color wall later. So let me put this over here. You're going to need a petal pad, and as well a petal saver, or this may be called, what do they call this thing? It's a flap. Things have escaped me. A storage flap. That's what this is called. There we go. And you're also going to need some wire cutters or needle nose pliers. These are great. And in that PDF, I also give you recommendations in my shop. I have a shop at Amazon.com, so there's actually a little bubble in there. It'll say Sweet Peas, and if you tap on it, all of the tools that you see here are, boom, right in there. Another great thing to have on hand is a drying rack. I got this one at the dollar store. So, and maybe like a little piece of foam crate to cradle your petals, so that way they don't lose their shape. So let's get started, you guys. Are you ready? Here we go. Just like Super Mario. All right, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to cut some of our floral wire. Now, what I do is each piece is a little bit over 14 inches long. I want to say like if they're 15 inches. So you'll cut one in half to make two long pieces, and then cut the other in thirds. Don't worry about being concise or having exact measurements, because that all will not matter later on. I mean, like, you definitely don't want to make it too stubby, you know, because that's not going to be fun. So definitely, like I said, don't worry about using a ruler. Just go for it. You're cool. You're cool. All right. Next thing that we're going to do is we're going to grab our handy-dandy needle nose pliers. Let me get up here close for you. I'm actually going to zoom in a bit on the workspace. Here we go. All right. Take your needle nose pliers at the very end and grab the tip of your wire and then give it a slight bend over so that it makes a little whoop. It's a whoop, a loop. So you got that? You're going to do that on all of your wires that you cut. So that way you can keep trucking along. I think it's great. It's always best to prep in advance, have all the stuff ready to go, or as the French would say, mise en place, have everything in its place, ready to go. One of my friends, you guys may know him, Senior Chip. He is over at Capital Confectioners. The President Kyla, that's her husband, excuse me. He always says mise en place, so it makes me happy that I'm not the only one that uses that terminology every day. So now that you've got that, we're going to put, I'm going to, when you work on a Silpat, things tend to, they get stuck, you know, because it's a silicone mat. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera. So what I try to do is make sure I leave half of this on something else so that it's easier to grab later. But it'll probably wind up punking me. All right. Now you're going to grab your gum paste that you made, your Fondix gum paste out of the CMC, and we're going to make some buds. Now these are super easy to make. Again, don't worry about being concise. If it feels too sticky, depending on your environment, you may need to put a little bit of shortening on your hands. Mine's doing pretty good so far. It's not sticking to my hands. I'm just giving a quick knead. And I'm going to pinch off a little bubble of it, roll it into a ball, making sure that I don't have any cracks or seams showing, you know, a fairly smooth ball as best I can do. And then I'm going to roll it on one end so that it tapers into a cone. See that? So easy. Next up, we're going to make sure that we have our edible glue ready. Go ahead and twist that open. You'll grab your wire that you have just bent, and first thing that you should do is pre-pierce your bud. Don't go all the way through. You want to go about 2/3 of the way. Remove it and add a little bitty of your edible glue. Place it back in, and then we're going to pinch the end around the wire just so that it doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't move. See, it's super simple. And then we're going to grab one of our Dresden tools. I'm a fan of this one right here because it's dual. They're both dual-ended, but this one, it just I like it a lot better. I don't know. Sometimes I favor some of the tools that I have, and other ones I'm like, a year later I'll be like, oh, I forgot I had you. I love you now. So isn't that how relationships are supposed to go with inanimate objects? So here you go. All I'm doing is taking the back side of the Dresden tool and rocking it from the base of the bud up towards the tip. And I'm just going to do that 3 times around. What this is doing is it's mimicking the folds of a floral before it blooms. So isn't that pretty? Give it a little bend and go ahead and put it on your drying rack. And what I usually do is I will let them sit overnight so that they can, so that they can completely firm up. That way I don't have to worry about the bud falling off while I'm trying to use it, because that would not be good. All right, I know that I closed that and I'm going to need it, but next up, now we're going to make our flowers, our little petals. So we already made the, let me see. Sorry, I'm following along in my guide too, because last time I made these in my personal group, I skipped a part and I'm like, what's missing? So I want to make sure that I hit everything right. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take some of our gum paste and we're going to roll it out fairly thin, a little bit less than 1/4 inch, and we're going to make some petals here. So I'm going to put these wires aside for another time. If, like I said, if your workspace is sticky, if it's humid in your workspace, you know, and if this is like staying attached to your rolling pin, then you would use the cornstarch, the 50/50 pack, to make sure that it lays down nice. So there we go. I'm just giving it a quick roll, and I'll show it to you, show you the width. I don't want it too thick, I don't want it too thin, so just about right there is good. And then I'm actually going to use the back side of my storage flap as a cutting surface. So go ahead and give her a little wiggle right there. Remove your excess, and then remove that. So for now, I'm just going to put this aside and make another one, so that way we have this for later. Push your petal over to the side. Now, normally I would have had all of this done for you, but I did. I wanted to make the lilac ones, and then I was like, oh, I don't have any lilac buds ready, so I had to do the pale yellow. So I'll just make the lilac ones later. Back over to the storage flap, and there are two ways that you can do this. So you just saw traditionally how you cut something, you know, just like that. You can also place your medium on top of the cutter and then use your rolling pin. So this is actually how I normally cut everything, because you get less of a frayed edge. It's nice and clean in comparison, so I tend to like that a little bit better. Moving this aside, bye-bye cutter. I'm going to go ahead and place one of these into my storage flap, which is punking me. There we go. And we'll grab the other one and bring it over here. So, first things first is we want to go ahead and vein it. So I'm going to grab my veining tool. And this is, what we're doing is we're giving this a little bit of life. So gently over your petal pad, give her a little push, and do the same thing on the other side. And I actually did that wrong. You actually want to turn it over and do this side. It's okay. Mistakes happen. Don't worry about it. So the reason why we're doing this is because these two are going to join up, so we want to make sure that the veining is on the correct side. So then turn it back over to the first one that you did. Grab your bowl tool, and I like to use the wider side of the ball, because I don't want a lot of frill. I just want a little bit of frill on the edges. So make sure you put some of your 50-50 mix on your ball tool, and you're going to place your ball halfway atop your petal and halfway onto the pad. Can everybody see that? There we go. And we just glide it around. Glide it around the edge. Flip it over and do the same thing on this side. Biggity bam. Look at that. Put your ball to the side. Alright. Let me make sure that I put away my excess. I don't want it to dry out, because it has that CMC powder in there. It will set up fairly quickly. Okay, so now that you've got that over there like this, right? We'll just keep it right here. Grab your edible glue, and you're going to apply some edible glue to the neck, and then about a little bit over the quarter of the way on the head of the petal. Okay? And then, or this is the base petal. And then we're going to fold it up, matching the neck to the neck, like so. There we go. Super easy, right? All right, what is the benefit of the 50-50? Well, sugar gives you more sugar, obviously, and cornstarch picks up moisture. So if you add 100% sugar, it's just going to make it stickier and sweeter. So we want to have that 50-50 mix in there to counteract the sugar. Like we want to keep it sweet. We don't want to get it, you know, yucky. In case someone actually decides to chomp into one of these, I always tell my clients, hey, these contain floral wire, so don't chomp into them. You know, you can keep them as a keepsake, but, you know, there's always children at parties, and they're like, I want the flower. So, or they might sneak the flower. So we want to make sure that it's appetizing and not super gross anyway. Next part, we're going to grab one of our buds that are already set. These have been drying for quite some time. That's another great thing about gum paste florals, is you can make most of these in great advance. I've actually had some florals that are a little bit over a year old. As long as you keep them in a cool, dry place with a desiccant packet, they'll be fine. So these have been drying for about 3 months, the ones that I have over here on deck. So what we're going to do is I straightened out the wire, and I'm going to add a little swipe of edible glue right here. So I took it from the base of the neck and just a little bit up towards the petal, because I'm going to, not quite towards the bottom, not in the center, but just at about right here where the base of the head petal is, we're going to insert our floral wire. Then we're going to bring her on up gently, and we're going to hug it. So first things first is you're going to bring the neck petal up and start pinching it into the petal and hugging it, like I said. So what we're doing is we're creating the rest of the neck of the bud. So like one of the folds, so to speak. Then you're going to take a little more edible glue and swipe the side, and hug your petal completely. All right, so now we'll bring it up close so that you guys can get a really good view of this cute little thing. Make sure that you hug it nice and tight. My fingers are a little bit sticky, so I'm going to add, I'm just dipping my hand into the powder here. So normally it's not very moist, I hate that word, humid in Las Vegas, but we're in our monsoon season, so at any second it could rain. Once you've got that, you'll go ahead and separate your petals a little bit to give them some life. Now at this point, what I will do is I will not hang it upside down to dry, but I will lay it over here onto my foam pad so that it can completely set up. So once it sets up, it's going to look like this. Oh my gosh, that was magical. How did you do that? CMC. So that's what it'll look like. Next up, I'm going to show you how to make a single petal, and that's with this other one that we cut over here. So for this one, it's going to be a little bit different because we're only using half of the petal, and that is actually going to be the tail petal. So grab your cutting surface, and this is where you'll need your precision cutting knife right here, and you're going to cut the head petal off. Okay, so the whole petal, the whole rounded petal, this is called the head petal, this is the tail petal. And then put our precision knife away. We're going to grab that veining tool one more time, and we're going to go ahead, grab this petal, behave, and give this one a little bit of life. Here we go. Okay. All right. So once you've got that, you know what's next. Grab your balling tool and give her a little frill. There she goes. Love it. Then you're going to, just like you did on the previous, on the whole petal, the whole floral, you're going to swipe some of your edible glue onto the neck, and then just a little bit up on the petal. You're going to fold the neck up towards the base. Grab another one of your buds that are ready, and I want to add just a little bit. You can actually add the edible glue onto the bud if you're afraid that you're going to oversaturate your petal. Same thing, just below the head or the tail. This is the tail petal. Slide her on through and give her a little bit of a hug with the base, the neck, the tail, whatever you want to call it. And then again, we're going to hug the petal around. And what I'm doing is I'm giving her a slight pinch at the base so I can make sure that the petal is also adhering very well to the bud as well as the stem. A little more cornstarch on my hand here. Pinch that. Hug, hug, hug. And then again, go ahead and give it a little bit of a separation. So there you go. That that's a single bud right there. So now you've got 3 different options for your floral. You've got a closed bud, a single bud, and a full floral. So you would let these sit aside and let them dry overnight. So this is what the single bud looks like once it's done. All right, so now look at that. We got a full bud, a single bud, and a baby bud. All right, so now we're going to move on to the fun part, and that is going to be giving them a little bit more life. And allow me just one moment to grab my dusting petal stuff. So this one is lemon. I love this one, and I'm going to grab a little bit of paper towel, not too much, I don't like to waste too much, to put this on. And I'm also going to grab my brushes. I'm going to have some green out as well. These colors that I use are from thesugarart.com, one of my favorite companies for powder color. So this is lemon, and this one is fern. Now, the reason why you color before you add your floral wire is just in case you make any mistakes. I make a lot of mistakes. I tend to drop a lot of things. I'm sure that I have dropped stuff already. So it's a huge disappointment to get to this point and then color something and a petal breaks or you drop the whole thing. So you definitely want to color beforehand. So make sure that your brush is nice and clean. Grab a little bit of powder, tap off the excess, and you're just going to lightly brush the edges. And what this does is it gives your floral a little more character, and it highlights the movement that you've given your sugar floral. So that was, you know, opening up the flower, that's called movement. And it makes it more realistic. Love it. Look at that. And then I'll get a little bit heavier towards the base up into the bud. And then don't forget to also do your back side, you know, just in case anybody looks back there and says, well, why isn't the rest of it done? We always want to make sure that we have a 360 design, no matter what. So there you go. And then I'll add some up on the back. How's that look? Looks great. Let's do the next one. Now here's the full flower. And add some powder to your little paper towel here, just on the edges. Give them a nice little brush. Pardon me. I'm ingesting petal dust. No, I'm just kidding. I had a tickle in my throat because I talk too much. So I'm going rather quickly. You don't have to go quickly. You take your time when you do these, especially if you're doing them for the first time. There's no... Cake decorating is my chi. It's my woosafra. So whenever it comes to painting is my absolute favorite. Or even something like this, I tend to really get into it. And I'll even make some sound effects like, you know. It tends to make things better. Actually, sound effects make everything better. You know, I often think that we should all have our own theme music whenever we enter a room. Sound effects and theme music. So that looks nice. And then last, this bud, we're also going to give this a little more color than we would the petals, because you are imagining that the floral is completely closed up. Next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add some of our fern. This is where you can make the calyx of your sugar floral. So the calyx right here, you can make that with gum paste, or you can just dust it and make it appear as though it's already there. This is actually one of my preferred methods, because sometimes calyxes can be very, very toddlerish. If anyone has a toddler, you know what I mean. It's like, make up your mind. So you grab this, and then you're actually on the bud, you're going to sweep it upwards as well. So those parts where we cradled the Dresden, you want to highlight those. Very cool. Love it. So some of you have asked, where did I learn how to make flowers? When I was very early into my cake career, I wanted to be a Wilton instructor, and I had actually never taken a Wilton class, because I was just like, you know, this is another way for me to get into my craft and really enjoy it, and have some fun and help other people learn. So they told me that I had to take all of the courses because I had to be certified in all of the courses in order to teach. So, I mean, that totally makes sense, right? So I kind of did things backwards because I already knew like the basics of fondant and buttercream. So I'm like, well, I better tackle the things that I don't know, which are royal icing and gum paste flowers. So I did those first, and I was like, wow. Gum paste florals were really it for me, because that's where I connected with my cake art and felt more relaxed. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. So whenever the opportunity arose for me to attend an in-person floral class, I definitely jumped all over that opportunity. We used to have a, it still exists, it's called cakecamp.org. They used to have their show here in Las Vegas every 2 years. It was like the Olympics for cake decorating, because it was non-competitive driven. It was a 2 or 3 day weekend just jam-packed full of classes. So one of my icons, Nicholas Lodge. Let me tell you, if you've never taken a class with Chef Nick, definitely do so. He plays Disney and classical music during class, and his voice is so loving and just lovely, and he's just, I admire him so much. And he's also part of ICES. He's also all around the country, or the world actually, teaching cake decorating classes as well as judging them. So definitely check out one of his classes. So I learned how to make sweet peas through Wilton, but I learned how to tweak them a little bit better as I kept making them. And then I learned how to make Cosmos and Baby's Breath with Chef Nick. You know, I'm seeing that my connection's being a little bit weird. Let me move the camera a bit, and hopefully that'll correct some things. Quit being a weirdo, camera. So yeah, I'm not sure why we're pixelated. So now we're going to move on to the fun part, and that is wiring everything together. So first, before I do that, I want to show you how to make a pea shoot. And a pea shoot is this little tendril that you see coming off the top. These are cute. Remember, I told you this is a climbing plant. So it's going to have vines and little things that are, you know, climbing upwards towards the light. So we definitely want to mimic that as well. So it's super hard, you guys. Definitely pay attention to this part. How are we doing on time, if you don't mind me asking, Miss Tina? Because sometimes I just talk so much that I tend to lose track of things. Definitely don't want to impede into Portia Kimball's demo. She has one coming up at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and she's going to be talking about baking and business. So that should be cool. Hey, Jackie. Thank you very much, Celebration House. What's the difference between gum paste and fondant with the CMC powder? So gum paste is, it has eggs in it. It's not vegan friendly. If you use Fondix fondant and add the CMC, you can make a vegan friendly gum paste. So that's one big huge difference, which is very good. Adding CMC to fondant gives you more stability. So you have, especially if you're doing this last minute, and I think it has more stability than the gum paste does. A lot of floral artists, sugar floral artists, will tell you not to use fondant. To me, it's really a preference. I've had less breakage with fondant tightened with CMC because I'm very clumsy. Like, most of the time people call me the accidental demoist because I either figure out something on my own by accident or I'm dropping things. So I like knowing that I have a little bit more stability using the fondant with the CMC. It's just better for me. So it'll wind up being your preference. So let's make some Schweet peas. You're going to pull your tape slightly. What that does is it activates the glue that's inside your tape. And then you're going to begin twisting it. Now this could get a little sticky, so do your best not to put any shortening on your hands or dip into your cornstarch, because then the tape won't stick to itself. So you're just twisting it. That's all you're doing. And make sure that that twist is nice and tight in hopes that it doesn't unravel on you. And just continue moving down. So I like to make my pea shoots a little bit longer. You can make them anywhere from 2 to 4 inches long, and make several of them. Not every single branch will have a pea shoot, but you know, it's yours. It's your climbing plant. You make it how you want. You know, you don't have to be by the book or concise all the time. I mean, yeah, there's going to be people that you're going to come across in your life that are going to be like, that's not how you do it. But you don't. I'm here to tell you that unless it's for a competition, you really don't have to. I'm giving you guys bad habits now. If it's not for a competition, then don't worry about being absolutely concise to what the what the floral species looks like. You know, if this is for fun, if you're you know, making them to just, you know, kill some time and, you know, feed your hobby, then don't worry about that. You do you. You know what I'm saying? So I left a little tail on there and made sure that it stretched and activated because I need to wrap this around my wire of my little sweet pea bud here. So I'm going to not start at the base of the bud. I'm going to start around the about midway. So I'm going to wrap it once and wrap it a second time, making sure that I'm pulling it nice and tight. And then I'm going to slide it up towards the bud. And make sure that you're very careful when sliding it up, because you don't want to pop that bud off, even though it has had some time to dry. Then we're going to continue wrapping the leftover little tail that you created there. So this is just going to keep everything in place. All right? So I just realized that this is one of the buds that are not completely dry. So as I'm turning it, it's some of the gum paste mix that I made here, the fondant CMC, it's coming off. So be careful with that. Then you will take a paintbrush, the end of a paintbrush, or you can take like a pencil, you know, basically anything thin. You could take a straw. You can even take another floral wire, and you're just going to wrap the pea shoot around. And I'm trying to hold on to the bud because I don't want it to fall off. See, when you have dry buds, you should keep them in one spot and keep the ones that are not set up in another spot. But there you go. You get the idea of it. When it's it looks really super cute if you ravel it some more and then you like pull on it to unravel it. So you see how those little tendrils are in there. So cute. You know, kind of like little curls in your hair. Very cute. So let's go ahead and wrap these together. That way I can answer some questions for you as well. So saying hello to some more people. Hi Jessica, hi Amy, hi Tisha, hi Christina, hello Kofu, hello Marilyn, hello Andrea. Thank you very much for your compliment about the flowers being beautiful. I appreciate that. Let's pull that to activate it. And again, about halfway down, wrap it over once, twice, 3 times for good luck, and then slide it upward. Now these ones are okay because they've been drying for about 3 months, so hopefully they keep their heads on. Do you guys have any questions for me while I'm doing this boring part? And that's wrapping the floral stems here. Hi Audrey. Hello Wendy. Cake Expo Birmingham. Hello, hello. So, Towards the end, I will ask my question, and 2 lucky winners are going to receive this edible glue set. Now, I will tell you that if you are located out of the continental U.S., you may be responsible to pay for shipping, but we'll see how that goes. And if you want to have access to learning more fun things for free and have access to monthly giveaways, you can join my group on Facebook. It's called Mitchie's Munchies Community, and I host 1 demo a month in there. This month has been kind of goofy, last month, July, because I was able to demo for other folks like Ices, so they got quite the treat this month. Joining the group is free. It doesn't cost anything, and we only ask that you know that you love cake decorating and love to play with your food. So you will be asked a couple of questions before you can enter the group, so make sure that you definitely answer those questions for us. Thank you. And then with Ices, you can see that they're flashing up some info in the comments. You can sign up for a new membership or renew your membership for Ices today at ices.org, and you'll receive an additional month for free. So, oh, thank you, Nancy. Cool. I never knew you could use the floral wire for the tendrils. It's the floral tape. So, yeah, I think that they look nice too, Celebration House, in the yellow. I tend to love all of the baby colors that you can find over at Cal Java. I like they have baby yellow and baby lavender, baby blue. They even have a baby peach. So all those softer pastel colors are just so cute. So there we go. All right, so now we got this, that, and this. Let's wrap them together. Keeping it going. And as you can see, you don't use very much floral tape. So this was one piece that was cut to 26 inches, and I probably have about, I lied. It was 30 inches, so I probably have about 23 left. So make sure that you pull it off and break it. Make sure you do that. Again with the sound effects. So you'll grab this, and this is where we're going to put everything in position. So, oh, I didn't finish wrapping this one. I wonder why. Because this was the one that I was afraid was going to fall apart. So I'm just going to add a little bit of wire. This, years ago, Ruth Rickey she was like wrapping the wires on the floral so quick. I was like, what are you doing? That's amazing. And she said it's called a swizzle method, where you grab the wire and you spin it, and look how fast you can wrap it. I don't believe that she created that method, but I forget who did. And I do recall her saying, she goes, I did not create this method. But I was just so fascinated by it. So what you'll do here is you'll position your florals how you want them to appear. So usually I make the bud kind of shoot upward with that little pea shoot, and then I will give this a slight bend just so that it's out of the way, and I can start to wrap it with the floral tape. So just like when you're initially wrapping it, wrap it around once, twice, 3 times for good luck, and then continue to wrap it downward. Usually I'll go about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch before I get ready to add my next floral. I'll line it up next to it, and then this one can go above or below, so I usually try to make sure that it's right at this mark, so it's just a little bit below this one but still meeting up with my bud. Again, let's put that one over, wrapping 3 times, and then we're going to finish it off by swizzling it all the way down. So if you wanted to add the calyx with your tightened CMC in a green color, you would actually apply that before you wrap them all together. So there we go. Faith, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Uji. Uji, did I say your name right? You guys have some really fun names. Akingula. I love it. Hi, Betty. Thank you very much. All right. You guys, do you have any questions for me before we get ready to welcome Miss Portia over? I love it. So cute. So one more time, I'm going to make you a little seasick and bring you over to me so that you can see my weird old mug. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and joining. I really appreciate it. And I love hanging out with you guys. So a few things to remember. Don't forget to tag your hobby and business pages in the comments, because I love to look, like, and share. Along with being a cake and sugar artist in Las Vegas, Nevada, I am also the wizard behind the curtains for Cal Java. So you can join us there every Wednesday for a live show and tell. So those are a lot of fun. And before I go, I also wanted to make you do some homework, because I would like to select those 2 winners that are going to receive this edible glue set, courtesy of CalJavaOnline.com. And don't worry, even though we're only going to have 2 winners, you're all winners, because I also have something else for you guys. So, answer this question. What did I say makes everything better? What did I say that makes everything better? Go ahead and pop your answer into the comments, and 2 winners will be selected to receive this edible glue set at the end of the live. So very cool. Hey Nancy, you're on Instagram. Awesome. Tisha, I got you. And who else we have here? Alabama Dana sharing. No, that's her. Let's see. So, nope, CMC is not the answer. What did I say earlier that makes everything better? I'll give you a hint. Faith, you're very close. Theme music. That's not it. It's not CMC, you guys. Come on, what makes everything better? It's something that you do while you're doing it. And I gave you a hint. I see some laughy faces. You guys, it's not CMC. That doesn't make everything better. That just makes everything drier. Hey, Stephanie! Stephanie was the first person to answer right. Good job, good job. Keep it going, keep it going. So funny. All right, so you guys keep going, keep answering. You have until the end of the live to comment with your answers. So, and then we will select 2 winners. So, before I go, I wanted to gift everyone something else, and that is because you're all my students now, and all my students have access to a reusable shopping discount code over at CalJavaOnline.com. You can use code Mitchie if you drop the name Mitchie in there. It's not an affiliate. It is just my gift to you for being my student, so that you can go shopping over at CalJavaOnline.com. It'll save you 15% off your entire shopping order. There are some restrictions. You know, like the bigger ticket items, of course, probably can't get any discounts on those, any machinery, stuff like that. But hey, it's reusable, which means that you can use it tomorrow, you can use it tonight, you can use it next month, you can use it a year from now. It's yours. It's a reusable shopping discount. So cool. So thank you, CalJava, for sponsoring our prize and for offering all of my students that awesome discount code. You guys stay tuned for your next demo artist, Portia Kimball. She'll be joining us to teach us all about baking and business. That is a definite must tune in. And don't forget to sign up for ICES. Renew your membership. If you're not already a member, definitely look into it. It's a fun bunch of people, and it's international. And once you join, you can also join the group where they have over 14,000 members. It's a great way to connect with your community, because your community isn't just around you, what's, you know, kind of like immediate family. That's not just your community. Your cake community is all over the world. So definitely get connected, make new friends, learn new things. And I thank you. And toodaloo for now. I will pick our 2 winners momentarily. Bye-bye.